Carlos Nelson with Cascade Media Group, and tonight we're on our community organization channel, and we have some sisters representing Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, and we have Miss Omega Tillman and Yolanda Carson. Omega is, I call them all the Grand Poopah. She she's over. What's your chapter, Yolanda?
Well, we represent the Bodacious and Outstanding Beta Omega chapter.
Oh, all right. So, without further ado, Ms. Tillman, I'd like for you to go back to kindergarten, as I tell all my audiences, to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you went to school, and some of the people that influenced you to affect your character and ultimately why you joined the sorority. The floor is yours, my dear.
All righty. Well, going back to kindergarten, that's kind of far back, but okay. Long story short, I grew up in the Kansas City public school system through sixth grade. So I started at Francis Willard and moved up to Border Star because they thought I was a little gifted. So I went to Border Star and then moved to a private school. I went to Carver Christian from the seventh grade to my junior year because my mother was teaching there and she said it was going to be a trial run, and I ended up there for years. But I told her I was not going to be the valedictorian, salutatorian, the dumbest and the smartest all at the same time, because I would have been the only one graduating. So I moved to Paseo High School. This was in 1987. So I graduated from Paseo. And that was kind of where my influence for the sorority started, because my concert choir teacher, Ronetta Bluford, kind of pushed me into the direction of Lincoln University, and also kind of told me don't come back with any other colors other than pink and green.
I like that.
But I did tell her I was going to look around, and oddly enough, she was right. When I got on campus, my morals, just the way that the ladies carried themselves on campus, and all of the things they did as far as community service and everything, just kind of aligned with me. So I joined Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority.
You found your tribe.
I found my tribe, and I have been with my tribe now for 30 years.
Boy, you've been walking the walk and talking the talk that long, sister?
That long, 30 years. So needless to say, while being Grand Poobah, as you called it, was never really on my radar, I kind of got placed here, and it's been a learning experience, I'll say that. But it's also been able to incorporate some things to not only help the community, but just kind of broaden the chapter's perspective as well.
All right, Yolanda, hit it.
Well, so Yolanda equally is a lot of years ago. So let me see how I can condense this. So I actually was born in Detroit, Michigan, and raised in the suburbs of Michigan. So I gonna skip all the way through elementary school because I honestly can't remember it, but I can tell you I graduated from a place called Romulus Senior High, which is where the airport is in Detroit, Michigan. So I graduated from I graduated from Romulus Senior High many years ago, and then transitioned to the Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi. Both Omega and I proudly represent HBCUs. And so I did matriculate at Jackson State, graduated from there. I guess before I graduated. So I was introduced to Greek life at Jackson State. I had no concept of Greek life when I stepped on the foot of Jackson State University. However, you learn quick, okay? And although you will get pigeonholed into various things about how you look and how you dress and how you act, what I found in those years that I was at Jackson State is that the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, shout out to Gamma Rho chapter, they were the ladies on the campus. They were kind, they were gorgeous, but they just who I felt I most aligned with. So I tried it. I said, well, let me see what's gonna happen. And to my surprise, I received a letter that said, uh, I forget. Anyway, it said I got in. I can't
It
remember what
said,
all it
"Come
said.
on and get another glass of this Kool-Aid."
It said something like that. But it definitely was my introduction into the sisterhood, and I'm a little bit behind Omega, because this marks my 29th year as an Alpha Kappa Alpha woman. And so, needless to say, though, very similar. It's been a fantastic journey, from undergraduate to graduate, and I've now found myself in Beta Omega for the past 8 years, and it's been 8 of the most wonderful years of my life. These are some wonderful ladies. We are community service oriented. We're a sisterhood, and if you think of Kansas City, you're gonna think about Beta Omega.
All right. So, how does you how does your chapter get involved with the library? Because that's what we're here to talk about, the Bluford Library. Uh, Omega, why don't you run it down?
All right, so the short end is Lucille Bluford was not only a woman of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, she was also a member of Beta Omega. So therein
Oh,
lies the
that's
connection.
larger than life. See, I get I didn't do no homework, sister, but
That's okay.
yeah,
So
that's
therein lies
larger
the
than life.
connection.
I'm like, oh, you just so it's not just like, oh, we this is public relations. This is real history
This
and
is
a real connection from the naval.
There is a real connection and there's a real purpose. Absolutely. And so we started having just kind of a small celebration with the library, since, we're trying to celebrate her. And even more so once it was established as Lucille Bluford Day. We thought we have to do something. So we started with kind of just us and the mayor, maybe, or a resolution from the mayor in the library, just kind of celebrate her. And just like you said, to give some history, to let people know that this just wasn't a lady that worked at the call. There was some struggle behind her getting to the call. Um, and so we kind of do that. And then this year it's blown into this huge, larger than life kind of deal.
I know it Miss Sharon Saunders Brooks brought it to my attention, and I knew Miss Bluford personally.
Oh, wow.
Uh, my offices when I used to be in construction were 24, 14, 16, 18 Vine, and I was a large contractor, and the Kansas City Call roof had caved in back then. That was 40 years ago,
Mm,
and I put the
mm.
roof on.
Oh,
But
wow.
Oh, wow.
yeah, but Miss Bluford, like they say, Mr. Nelson, you a piece of work. Miss Bluford was a piece of work, baby.
I hear she
Yeah.
was
Holy
something.
young
Well, well,
whippersnappers like me back then, she put you in your place quick.
Carlos, that's something that AKAs have in common. There's not too many that are to be messed with, so we can understand.
Yeah, so what is actually planned, Yolanda, for this anniversary or this event?
So So as Omega said, we're doing it in style. So in partnership with the Kansas City Public Library, we're hosting a Lucille Bluford celebration on July 1st, 2025. It's going to be a day filled with activities for all ages. So from 1 to about 3, there's going to be arts and crafts, story times for kids and teens, and book giveaways. And then there's going to be a reception from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And there will be refreshments, a photo booth, and a Kansas City Jazz Orchestra. And then at 6 o'clock, John W. Bluford III, who is the nephew of Lucille Bluford and also the founder of the Bluford Healthcare Leadership Institute, will share personal stories and discuss his aunt's incredible impact.
All right, that sounds like it's going to be very interesting. I probably most likely will send someone if I don't come. Up there, I'm going to send somebody from my organization to cover it because I think that it's very deserving. What I want to do, I'm got my bid in to get an interview with the new lady that's over the library. I used to have really good relations with Crosby Kemper. He would come on the show at a drop of a hat. But I want to ask them really, and you might be able to answer this. When are they going to get this money right for the new Lucille Bluford Library? And where are we at on that?
I definitely don't have an answer. I'm gonna say that I don't have an answer, but I agree with you. We need to do a little more. There've been some upgrades, but a lot more needs to happen, and that's for me personally. I think that they do need to do a little more updating on it, and this might be the start of that. You know, maybe they get enough community response and interest in the library and just the history of Lucille Bluford in itself. They may be able. This
Do you
might be the
expect
push.
the mayor at this event and some of our other political representation?
So I believe there's an invitation. If we don't get the mayor, we'll probably get the mayor pro tem, who also
Raina?
happens to be a member of the chapter. So we got an inside there too.
Yeah, well, Raina's doing her thing.
He definitely is.
Holding up. I think we had her on about 2 months ago. I was like, when do you go to bed, sister? Because she's been representing big time.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's always busy. Absolutely.
So, in closing, Yolanda, what would you have to say to our community?
Well, as it relates to the Lucille Bluford Day, we would ask them to just go onto the library's website, which is kclibrary.org. If you click on events, you'll see the event come up, the flyer, and you'll have an opportunity to RSVP. And, of course, we definitely want as many folks in the community to come as possible. But it's always nice to have a little idea who's going to come, just so we can make sure we have enough materials and food and things like that ready for our Kansas City community. This is a community event, and we definitely are expecting and would appreciate a large turnout in support of this state holiday, the Lucille Bluford Day.
I meant to ask you, either one of y'all could answer this. Did you try to get the schools involved, our high schoolers, and possibly our middle schoolers involved? Because this is something that needs to definitely be passed down, who this woman was and her contributions. And we've been around, but it's like passing the baton.
So as we had, sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead.
So as we indicated, from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, that's going to be the time frame that's for the teenagers and the kids. And so yes, there are always, and there were efforts to get the schools involved. As you know, July 1st though is they're out of school. So so we then have to pass that responsibility to the parents to try their best to have their kids involved. So we're always thinking ahead. And what I can tell you for next year, there's going to be a different effort put in to make sure that school, the education system is more greatly involved in this very important day.
All right. Hey, Omega, now run it down with your closing words and what you have to say to our community in closing.
Well, so, I mean, right now we're focusing on Lucille Bluford Day. That's definitely not all that Beta Omega or Alpha Kappa Alpha does within the community. On September 28th, we actually are hosting a senior seminar, which is focused on senior citizens or more seasoned citizens. It's focused on protecting them from scams and frauds. That's the big thing these days. Everybody's getting text messages and phone calls saying you owe this or that. So we're hosting a seminar to kind of protect our more seasoned adults from the scams.
Where is that taking place?
That will be at
the Metropolitan Police Station.
Is it the South one?
I believe it's South Patrol, but you know what? Send them to our website and they'll be able to get additional
this is what I was going to say. We're talking about Bluford tonight, but we will, before next week is out, we'll have one of you on to talk about that event
Okay.
because me being a senior, I get at least 5 or 6 a day.
Yeah.
Those type phone calls and texts and different things. And I happen to be halfway savvy, but in the past, it has gotten me. And
Yeah.
so I know that this is a very important seminar that you're putting on, and putting it on, but having people connect to it is a whole horse of another color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so really just going to our website, as Yolanda said, which is akabetaomega.org, all lowercase, no spaces. It will list the events and things that we have coming up, including Lucille Bluford, as well as the senior seminar, and just to keep the community informed and try to keep them involved.
All right, ladies. I'll steal this from I guess I need to make this my closing. That damn Jim Watts, he's always closing his shows with, "It's a plum pleasing pleasure having you on the show." I'd be like, Jim, cut it out, man. But as we always end, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Good night.
This is brought to you by Kansas City Business Association, working to improve our community.